Today, I'm going to tell you about a special kind of fat, a kind of fat that actually burns calories, and it's called brown fat. So let's break this down. You have two types of fat in your body. You have white fat and you have brown fat. White fat is what most people think of when they hear the word fat. It's the type of fat that stores energy and, well, contributes to that belly. But brown fat, that's a whole different story. It's packed with mitochondria, which are the little powerhouses in your cells. They burn calories to produce heat and keep you warm. And here's the exciting part. Brown fat can help you burn calories without any extra effort. Studies have found that people with higher amounts of brown fat tend to have a faster metabolism and that their bodies are better at regulating blood sugar and burning fat. So the big question then is, how do we activate more of it? Firstly, let's talk a little bit about how brown fat actually works. Unlike white fat, brown fat is actually metabolically active. When it's active, it burns calories and converts them into heat. This process is known as thermogenesis. And recent research has shown that brown fat can actually be activated in several ways, including exposure to cold, special foods, and even certain types of exercise. And the benefits aren't just limited to weight loss. Activating brown fat has actually been linked to having a lower risk of type 2 diabetes. Okay, now that we know what brown fat actually is and why it's so great, let's get to the juicy bit. How do we actually activate it? So first up, we've got cold exposure. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Doug, are you really telling me that if I take a cold shower, I'm going to get skinnier? Well, kind of. The research suggests that exposing your body to colder temperatures can activate more brown fat. This could be as simple as taking a cold shower in the morning, which, being honest, I do, but I don't really do it for the brown fat benefits. I do it more just for the mental benefits, to wake me up and give me clarity. Or if you're feeling more adventurous, you could try an ice bath or even a cryotherapy chamber. But don't worry, I'm not expecting you, and certainly I'm not encouraging you to turn into a human popsicle. And if you're not ready to take on any of those challenges, don't worry, because the simplest thing that you can do is go outside wearing a little less clothing, meaning you're going to expose yourself more to the elements. Next, let's talk about exercise, specifically high intensity interval training, otherwise known as HIIT, not to be confused with HIIT, which is high intensity training. The important difference there is the intervals. This involves short bursts of intense exercise followed by brief rest periods. And just like the cold exposure, this has been shown to activate brown fat. Whilst I personally have to admit I am not a fan of HIIT training for myself, it does have its benefits in the sense that it reduces the amount of time that you're having to spend at the gym. So if you're one of those people who said, well, I don't have time to go to the gym, well, HIIT training might be for you, because you can get in, get out in 30 minutes and do a HIIT workout and get a lot done and activate more brown fat. And finally, let's look at your diet, because certain foods might stimulate the activation of more brown fat. Capsicum, I think that's how you say it, although I have to admit I'm not a chef, is the compound that gives chili peppers their heat. And this has actually been found to activate brown fat. Similarly, green tea is also looking pretty promising. So if you're not a fan of spice and you don't want to blow your head off having chili peppers all day long, don't panic. Maybe green tea is the way to go for you. All right, now that you have an idea of what works, let's go over some practical tips so that you can incorporate this stuff into your day-to-day life. First and foremost, with the cold exposure, start slow. Take it from me, as someone who now does do regular ice baths, but used to mock and laugh at the people who raved about them. You don't want to jump straight into an ice bath. Start with a cold shower. Start with 15 seconds, then build up to 30 seconds, and then eventually 45 seconds. Once you can do 45 seconds with the shower turned right up to cold, I would say you are ready for an ice bath. But just like with the cold showers, start slow. At the beginning, aim to do just 10 to 15 seconds. This is a lot more challenging than a cold shower because your body is fully immersed in the freezing water. And when you first jump in, your brain will have an involuntary response that will tell you to jump straight back out. But I'm telling you that so you can expect it. Because when I first jumped in, I wasn't expecting it, and I think I lasted maybe 2 seconds. But you have to resist the urge and ignore your brain. The next most important thing to do when you jump in the ice bath is do your best to control your breathing, because you are essentially going into shock. Take a deep breath in through your nose, counting 1, 2, 3, and then breathe out through your mouth, again counting 1, 2, 3. If you can manage just 2 or 3 of these 6-second inhales and exhales on your first ice bath attempt, you've done very well. And then just like the cold shower, build up over time. If you're consistent with it and you do it 2 to 3 times a week, you'll be amazed how much tolerance you build up in a very short space of time. Next, let's talk about those HIIT workouts that we touched on earlier. I'd recommend, especially if you are new to exercise and new to the gym, that you start with a very simple routine. Just doing 30 seconds of intense exercise like jumping jacks, press-ups, burpees, pull-ups, whatever you can manage, followed by 30 seconds of rest and then repeating that for 10 to 15 minutes. If you do that 2 to 3 times, and again, just like the ice bath, it's all about consistency, you will be well on your way to activating more brown fat. And for your diet, like I said, if you can handle the spice, try adding a little bit of chili pepper to your dishes. And why not replace one of your cups of coffee with a cup of green tea? But you might also want to consider incorporating other metabolism boosting foods, stuff like cinnamon, turmeric, and even fatty fish, which are also rich in omega-3s. You can think of brown fat like your secret weapon when it comes to burning more calories and improving your metabolism. By incorporating the simple practices that we've talked about today, the cold exposure, the HIIT workouts, and those small dietary adjustments, if you do them consistently for at least 4 weeks, you'll have a much better chance of being able to activate more of this calorie burning fat that we've talked about today and potentially get faster weight loss results. But remember, everybody's body is different. So I'd encourage you to experiment with a few of the methods that we've talked about today and find what works best for you. But above all, guys, don't forget, it's all well and good activating more brown fat and trying to lose weight faster. But if you're not in a calorie deficit, you're not going to lose weight at all. So if you have no idea what a calorie deficit is, if you have no idea what your maintenance calorie number is, if you have no idea how many calories you should be eating in a day to hit your fitness goal, then I'd strongly recommend you take 30 seconds to use my calorie calculator. It's the first link in the description that's underneath this video. I'll send you personalized calorie and protein recommendations that are specific to your goal, and I'll explain what all your numbers mean so you have complete peace of mind that you're doing the right thing. It only takes you 30 seconds, and like I said, it's completely free. Anyway, I'll leave the video here, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, but more importantly, I hope you found it useful. If you have, I would absolutely love it if you could show your support. So smash the thumbs up button to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. Until next time, bye.